2 months away in the States. Got some thunder in the background. With a lot of rain, how does the garden of Aibonito look? Let's check it out. So from the entranceway, not a lot looks different, but we've already cleared, Priscilla and I, a bit of this grass and brush. It was kind of like this edge all over. We brought the scooter back over. Our neighbors were really amazing and allowed us to keep it there while we were gone. And all of this came back. So we had cut pretty much a solid driveway up through here. Well, not a driveway, but a wide path. And it looked like that all the way across. We came and you could not tell that there was a path here at all. So plenty of regrowth. Let's check out the top. All right, we got a lot of hyacinth bean growing up. We moved the table out here and all of that is squash, calabasa they call it. The dome that we've been working on, you can't tell that it's not covered with dirt because it's so covered with vegetation. Again, we've got a lot of pumpkin up there, tropical pumpkin. This is a chaya plant that we've got growing. That humongous thing is a pigeon pea with a squash plant growing up it. We've got tons of this Cuban and oregano, Spanish thyme, Plectranthus variety. That's a big lemongrass plant. Squash growing up and into the trees. This is a support tree, quick stick. Leucaena. Another massive pigeon pea. I've started calling them pigeon trees just because they've gotten so big. We've got the round home in our off-roof water catchment tank. The guppies survived and they're still in here making sure we don't get mosquito larvae. We've got a whole bunch of azolla or water fern on the surface, as well as water hyacinth. Both of those we harvest and use as mulch or bury them when we plant a plant for soil fertility. More pigeon trees, absolute giants. Just in 2 months, they've really shot up. We got a tall Mexican sunflower, but what once was a cleared kind of lawn-esque area is overrun with pumpkin. We've got yams overrunning the dome, cassava bushes over there. Let's check those out. Here's the cassava. Another pigeon tree. Mulberry growing up strong. Sugar cane and with this cassava. Pigeon tree with hyacinth bean and squash up in it. More sugar cane, a coconut growing strong. Back in there, we've also got some turmeric that stayed growing. In here, we've got a soursop, continue to grow up strong. I got to clear around that a little bit, get some more light. More oregano holding on. A little avocado tree that we started from seed, still strong. Guava. And here's our kitchen, almost completely shaded over. Really, really nice. Now, the benefits are that although a lot of it's like this tall guinea grass that grew up and we've had to carve these trails back, like none of these trails were here. It was all wading through grasses and with hand pruners cutting it all back. Didn't take super long, but reestablishing. Most of the plants that are starting to grow up and take over, maybe 20% to 50%, somewhere through there, depending on the area, are edible plants. Like even growing up past these plants, up the cliff, is a hyacinth bean. So more lemongrass. Like I can just stand and forever point out tons of plants. A lot of it is edible plants that really continue to grow and thrive without any inputs, without any work for 2 months. And they are here, they're standing, they're growing strong. And now we come back at just this moment to cut out the non-edible species around them. And then we're left with just what's edible. We're already getting a harvest of beans prepping to come in. Go around the side. I've got something nice to share with you guys. So this is our African air potato plant. And I've been looking for these guys for 5 years to try to get them. And here, after 2 months, we've got African air potatoes. And these are the edible ones. And you can tell by their angular shape, they're not really round, that they're an African variety. And they're not like the noxious weed that's toxic, that blankets everything and you can't really eat. So, but this is growing off up into that tree. We've got more African air potatoes up in the tree that'll come down. So this used to be our chicken coop, and without getting too close, I'm kind of in their flyway. But at the entrance, some honeybees moved in. So now it's our bee coop, because this is the second time honeybees have moved in to this structure. The first group of honeybees we put in the beehive, and they're still over there. So this is a completely new group that decided to move in while we were gone, saw the vacancy, and took advantage of it. But now a lot of our time is spent reestablishing these trails, which aren't too hard. Most of it we just walk on, but then we cut them to make them wider. We'll reestablish trails around the property, chop and drop a lot of the vegetative material, lay it down as mulch, and away we go. Down this trail that we have the chaya here, and the pigeon trees. In here we've also got a mango tree. Now this one was completely overshadowed by a pigeon pea. So I'm actually cutting back food crops that were sheltering this guy while we were gone. Now that it needs more sunlight and can tolerate more sunlight, I cut back the pigeon pea and I've dropped that as mulch on our trail. And then we've got this archway of beans and tropical pumpkin. Had to tie back up, but we've got our sugar dragon fruit taking over. And right here is a beauty. It's super dry here, super hot, so it's hard to get papaya, but here we go. We've got a female papaya plant that came up from seed. Super excited about it, and we will see how it tastes in the coming months. Coconut establishing. Chester the digester, buried with all the vegetation. Now we stopped feeding him before we left, so he's a little slumped. There's not a lot of biogas in there, but it's still there. We got edible canna lilies in there. This area is a complete repertoire. We've got our outdoor toilet that hooks up with Chester. Absolute repertoire of edible species, intermixed, working together. Grosseia, a tropical gooseberry tree. This is amazing. I love it. Yeah, it's a bit of work coming back to cut a lot of this stuff back, but talk about abundance. I've got some areas where I know yams have died back. Yams are not like sweet potatoes. They climb up trees. They form a big root clump. It's a tropical species of food. We just in the United States call sweet potatoes yams sometimes. But I know back in here, I even got this little tree coming up. Honestly, guys, I'm not sure what it is. I think it's an avocado, but I'm not 100% sure. We will see. But I know, here's a dragon fruit. I know this yam was climbing up this tree. That's what this vine was. And underground, since it's died back, it's ready to harvest. So I can go ahead, pick that up, and we could cook it up and get food. But one more thing to show you before I let you guys go. This is all over the place. I apologize, but there's so much going on here. With all this squash, we got a little bit of end eaten off, but every now and then we get these massive pumpkin squash in here. This tropical pumpkin that we'd harvest that. We're planning on seeing what's good of it, cooking it up and eat it, and there's a couple more like that. It's crazy. It really is, but it's impressive. You know, the theory was we could integrate food-producing systems, food-producing plants with the environment around us. And first you got a very small percentage of edible species and a large percentage of inedible species, wild species. And over time you cut back the inedible ones and you let loose the edible ones and keep interplanting and making it thicker and denser, and it's working. You know, we've got the density on this first area here elsewhere on the property it's thinner, and I'm excited to see how that worked out. I didn't even touch on our second flat area and further up the hill on some of the trails that we planted a lot of stuff. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited to. So stick with us as we bring you guys more video, more content. Hopefully you learned something about watching this. We're putting plants so dense they're competing with each other. But I'd rather food plants compete with my food plants than weeds compete with my food plants. And then I come back and my few trees are overrun with weeds that I can't eat, can't use or anything. I'm happy coming back and squash is all over the place and not some other inedible vine that saw the opportunity and took it. So, but again, stick with us. Subscribe if you want to join our YouTube family, and I will catch you guys in the next video.